Hello, my friends. Yay! I'm so excited, so happy to be here with you for our weekly live in Mom XVA. If you are new to Mom XVA, I'm so excited that you are here. Mom XVA is for moms who are in the virtual assistant industry, and we are really redefining what's possible in motherhood. Yes, we're here for the VA industry, but more importantly, we're here because we want to have a yes life. We want to have the type of motherhood where we can go to Target, we can be totally unhinged, get whatever we want. We can take our kids to Disney. We can get the lightning passes, fast passes if we want to. And it's not a big deal. This is the type of life that we're building. And the VA industry is what I've really found to be able to give moms that. I found it, knee deep in motherhood myself, and have now helped hundreds of moms find that same joy and purpose and freedom, both time freedom, financial freedom within motherhood. So yay, I'm so happy that you're here. Welcome to Mom XVA. And today's going to be so good. Today we're talking about how to book your dream virtual assistant clients. And this is such a fun topic because okay, you think booking clients, you're like, yeah, I build a portfolio, I go apply to jobs. And I'm like, no, there's like a whole nother strategy and way of doing this. And in fact, some of the things that you're doing now might actually be sabotaging your VA success. So let's dive in. Okay. And I'm going to be sharing too, what I'm going to be pulling from is when I found the VA industry, I booked a $2,000 a month client in 3 days, within 3 days of finding the industry. And so I'm going to be sharing some of the things that I did, which really lend themselves to success. Okay. So first, one of the things that I really want to pre-frame and give you some context is when you are going about booking dream clients and you want to work with, amazing people that are doing something that you're interested in. One of the things that really holds people up is, you think of it like a job search instead of like you're running a business and you're a CEO, okay? Because if you're doing a job search, right, and you haven't really stepped into this like CEO ownership and mindset and like, whoa, like I am a business owner vibes, then you're probably like, oh, I don't want to step on anyone's toes and I don't want to offend them and I don't want to be too salesy. And that is sabotaging you. That is legitimately sabotaging you from booking out your business. So before we go into the whole strategy here, I just really want to encourage you to get super clear that as a virtual assistant, you are a business owner, and you're not just any business owner. Like you are your dream, like this is your dream business, and so much is possible. And the biggest thing in you getting there is you claiming and owning that and like thinking like a business owner. Business owners market themselves. They do sales. They get visible. Yeah. And so this is so important for you when you're going about booking out your business. Okay. Now with that in mind, let's go in. So first, when you're thinking about booking dream clients, you got to get clear on who the heck you want to work with, right? Like who actually is a dream client to you. And one of the things that I love recommending here is to think beyond business for this, right? Because as an example, say that faith, I don't know why I always use faith as an example, but it's an amazing example. Like if your faith is important to you, can't you imagine that working with a client whose faith is also important to them would be amazing? Or I don't know if Bobby's still on, but I saw Bobby hop on, and Bobby is a yoga teacher, and she's just immersed in the world of yoga, and it's transformed her life and also her children's lives. And so she's like, yeah, if I can work with other yoga teachers and studio owners, like dream. And this is what Bobby's done exactly too, which I love. So I really want you to think like to book your dream clients, you first have to know who they are. And thinking beyond business, like what are some affinities that you have in your life that you're like, wow, if my clients were into horses like I was, I would be so happy. If my clients were into fashion like I was, I would be so happy. Or, an example too is things that you've done in your career. As an example, for me, that $2,000 a month client that I booked in 3 days, she is a career coach. And I worked in recruiting prior to kids. So, helping people find and land their dream careers comes very naturally to me, very intuitive, which of course now I'm like, of course I help VAs find clients. Like it's such a fit there. But I was like, wow, okay, a career coach would be such a perfect fit. So for you, like, you're like this little, not little, you're this big, badass boss, sleuth and detective, and you're thinking through all the things that you're personally interested in. Are you a bookworm? Do you love reading? Faith, fashion, hobbies like snowboarding, all the things. Are you obsessed with coffee? Actually, I have a funny story about that too. And then also thinking about career, things that you've done in your career. Okay, so that is one way to get clear on your dream client. Now, here's another really important way. And I would say that this, especially when you combine the two, is just as important, is to think about values. Because here's the thing, values attract values, like attracts like. And you don't want to work with, like, I'm just going to say this, you don't want to work with business owners who are nickel and diming, who don't value your worth. And so to find clients that value your worth, you first have to value that in yourself. And you also have to claim and own it. And this really goes back to on Friday, we did a live training in here on this. So definitely go listen to that. It will help you with all of that. But getting clear too. So for your dream clients, what kind of values do you want them to have? Do you want them to be ambitious? Do you want them to be in integrity? Do you want them to be ethical? Do you want them to really prioritize and value family? Because if you're here, you're likely a mom too, right? So getting super clear on your values, what type of dream clients you want to work with, things that they might be interested in, things that you're interested in. This is so, so important, because before you know who you want to work with, you're kind of just flinging like shots in the dark. You're like a ship at sea in the night, right? And when you're clear, then it's so easy to speak to that person exactly. And I really recommend calling out in your portfolio and in your applications who you are, what's important to you, and who you enjoy working with. Like, you can legitimately say, I love to work with virtual assistant clients who are ambitious, in integrity, and who also are led by their faith, just as an example, right? Because imagine when your dream clients are seeing that and they're like, oh yes, like this is me. She just described me. She gets me. I have to talk to her. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer to hire you. Now, here's another example, and this actually goes to messaging and positioning. But let's say in your portfolio that you say something like, this is actually, you guys, this is like really good. Pay attention here. You say something like, I help stressed out, frazzled, overworked, and overwhelmed business owners. Let me ask you this. Initially, are you like, yeah, that's probably the type of VA that I would be working with? Type a yes or no in the chat. I want to hear. I'm going to tell you something that if you haven't studied messaging and positioning for, this might break your brain. That is the worst thing, the worst thing that you could say in your portfolio and in an application. Do not mention stressed, frazzled, overwhelmed, overworked. Do not mention negative adjectives, because guess what's going to happen when you do? I'm like getting all excited here. I love messaging and positioning. It's so fun. But guess what happens when you're like, yeah, I help stressed out business owners? Guess what's going to happen? All the stressed out business owners are going to raise their hand. You actually want to work with stressed out business owners, because here's the thing. You could have two business owners that are in the same exact spot. Maybe they're newer in business, so they're at, 5K months, 10K months, whatever. And one could self-identify as stressed out. They're frantic, they're scrambled, frazzled, like all the things. And like they're kind of thinking through the lens of scarcity and lack. Can you imagine as a VA, like how that would feel to work with them? You would probably also feel really stressed out and frazzled and frantic too. Like that energy is contagious. Now you could also have a business owner who's in the exact same scenario, income level, in their business. And they're like, yeah, like things are busy right now, but like I know where I'm going and I am unstoppable. And that's the type of business owner that you want to work with. So be so mindful of that too when you're getting clear on your dream clients and you're talking to them in your portfolio, in your content, in your applications, that you are not describing them with negative adjectives, because the words that you use are like magnets and people self-identify with them. So speak positively, speak to the type of clients that you want to have in their highest power. Speak about yourself and to yourself like that too, just as a little side hack. This is all neuroscience too. It's so delicious. Okay, next, we talked about this a little bit last week too, but actually, and you probably hear me say this a lot, Do not sell the task, sell the transformation. This is another way of using words to speak to the heart and soul of your dream clients. Instead of saying that you do social media, well, what is the outcome of social media that your dream client wants? They likely want to wake up in the morning and have their DMs full of, dream client avatars who are like, oh my gosh, I just saw that post you did yesterday and I felt like you were talking to me. Can we talk about working together? That is what your dream clients actually want. And so when you can use words to effectively convey the energy, the intention, the transformation instead of just the task, you also are going to be speaking to the heart and soul of your dream clients. And so I recommend, looking at your portfolio, looking at your services page and going a step deeper. If you were to offer administrative support, what is the outcome of having admin support that truly works in their business? And that's what you really want to be speaking to there. Okay. So step number 1 in booking your dream clients is knowing who you want to work with, thinking about natural affinities, things outside of business that you're really into. And also thinking about values. Do not call them out with negative adjectives because they will self-identify. And I'm gonna tell you right now, you don't want to work out with a stressed out business owner. You want to work with someone who's in abundance, who's in their highest power and service. And yeah, maybe a lot of things are going on, but they know how to stay focused and in the zone because energy is real. If you're working with a frantic, scrambled business owner, you will feel that energy and it will suck you dry. I promise you that. Okay. So next, we're going to talk about the going from, okay, I know who I want to work with to actually booking clients. Can I get an amen in the chat if you're like, yes, give it to me, Bree. I am so ready to book my dream clients. Okay. So I'm going to be sharing with you exactly what I did from the second I found the VA industry to booking a 2K a month client in 3 days. Here we go. You ready? Numero uno. I want to preface this. This is literally not about being perfect. It's not about having all your ducks in a row. It's about getting into action quickly. If you are not in action right now, that's exactly why, it's so simple, but that's exactly why you haven't booked out your VA business. You could, if you simply did what I'm about to tell you, you're going to be light years ahead of if you're just thinking about it and pondering it and wondering now. One of my favorite, I wouldn't even say it's a business mindset. This is a life strategy, is F around and find out. I truly believe that business and life is this playground and it's an experiment. And what would happen if you were just full send energy? You knew where you want to go and you're okay, let's go. Let's just see what happens. Nothing is do or die. I promise you it's not. And the more that you can take the pressure off of something having to be perfect and really tap into playground and experiment energy, it actually will neutralize the charge of it having to work. So if you were to, what I'm about to share with you, if you were to just take that, think of it as an experiment and be okay, I'm just going to go, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to do these things and let's just see. I want you to do that more than anything. I promise you that this energy, F around and find out, and just this is an experiment. I'm going to follow these steps and see what happens. Trust the process. Success leaves clues. You don't have to reinvent the wheel to be successful. I also promise you that. You do have to obviously make it your own, but there's very specific, very tangible steps that you can take to book out your business, build your dream life, all of that. But it's always the doing is harder than the saying. But I want you to promise me that you're going to go do after this. Okay. So first, numero uno, we're going to do a day 1, day 2, day 3. You're going to be booking a client in 3 days. Yeah? Okay. Type 3 days in the chat if you're okay, let's go. Let's do this. Okay. So numero uno, this is day 1. This is today. You're going to do this today. You are going to go study some successful VAs. Maybe it's in this group. Maybe you're in other VA groups. Maybe you go look on Instagram and you just type in virtual assistant. And I want you to pick maybe 3. And trust it too. We're in F around and find out energy. So you don't have to worry about being perfect. Just really trust your intuition and your voice. You look up some people and you're oh, that chick. I like how she shows up. Okay. So pick 3 people. I want you to just study them and notice what they're doing, what they're saying, what their energy is, what they're talking about. If you can find their portfolio too, or if they have a website, highly encourage you to go do a little sleuthing. Because you're paying attention to what are the pieces that they have in place to have built the business that they built. Success leaves clues. If you can emulate those steps, you also will get there. Okay. But one thing I want you to know, we're doing like 3-day go book a client strategy here is I don't want you to build a website in these 3 days. You don't like, and honestly, you don't even need a website to book out your VA business. Eventually, like as you scale to 6 figures and beyond, yeah, having a website is helpful. I'll tell you this though, I did not build my own website, like briannakane.com, until I hit 7 figures. And even then, I don't even think I really need it. So I'll tell you that you don't need a website, but you do need a portfolio, okay? Okay, so study VAs, see what they're doing, see what they're talking about, see how they're showing up, go build a portfolio. And what I want you to know is that this does not have to be perfect at all. It simply has to exist, okay? You just have to do it. Okay, so that's day 1. Easy, right? So you have, just to recap, you have found 3 VAs where you're like, oh, I like their vibe. You have built a portfolio. If you don't know how to do it, there's trainings in here. Like recently, go look in the guide section. I'm sure you could Google it too. You could even ask ChatGPT. Yeah, so there's literally no excuses to not build a portfolio. Okay, day 2. This is where it gets edgy. This is where like the do it, you're like, oh, okay, I can do day 1. Day 2, I'm gonna like love and shove you. We're getting out there. Day 2 is all about getting visible. Are you up for that? Okay, so what I did in 3 days to book a 2K a month client, I did not wait around. I did not. I was not waiting for clients. I got visible fast, but it can be less intimidating than you might think. I'm not going to tell you, you can, but I'm not going to tell you to go put this like massive announcement on your social media. What I want you to do is go find open VA roles. I want you to apply to them. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to exist. And like, really, I want you to also, like, if you're listening to this now and you're like, yes, I'm going to do this. I also want you to go listen to last week's training too, because that's going to help you really get into your confidence and your belief as well, which is a really important thing, you know, kind of going back to earlier in this training, we were talking about how real words are, how real energy is, and the words that you use convey who you are, and who you are is why your clients hire you, okay? But I want you, so day 2, visible. You're not waiting for clients, you're applying to jobs. I want you to apply to at least 3, maybe more, 5, 10, like we're full send, right? Remember, we're experimenting here. We're in F around and find out energy. Okay, so day 2, you're applying for jobs. Now I also want you to reach out to your network. And it doesn't have to be a pitch. It does not have to be like, hey, hire me. I just started a VA business. And actually, I think I gave you scripts for this last week. So again, go listen to last week's training because I literally tell you exactly what to say. But you're just letting them know what you're up to, asking for feedback. Specifically, when I did this on day 2, I reached out to people that were friends or just in my network who owned businesses or who I knew new business owners. And I just kind of let them know what I was up to, ask for some feedback, like, have you ever hired a VA? If you were to hire one, what would you outsource? Like, what are some of the things you'd want to get off your plate? Just got them thinking. And actually, like, this is so consciously strategic too, because you're getting them thinking about, like, they're like, wait, maybe I do need a VA. There's all these things that I don't want to be doing on a day-to-day basis. Okay, that's day 2. That's it. You're applying for jobs, like active open jobs. If you don't know where to find them, I think there's trainings in this group that tell you where, but also, and I can put this below the training, I send out weekly jobs to my email list if you're on the specific list. And so if you're not on that, every single Monday, we send out 3 to 4 open VA roles. And so you can start there. Like, you get that weekly email and you're like, okay, I'm going to go apply to every one of these jobs. So I'll make sure that I include that too. Okay. So next, so day 2, you're applying, you're reaching out to your network. Day 3, this is also where it gets fun. Like, you are just full send confidence, like you're doing the thing, you're continuing to apply, you're continuing to reach out. I want you on day 3 to actually get on a Zoom call with someone, whether it is someone like from a role that you've applied to or the people in your network. I want you to set up virtual coffee chats. And here, you're not necessarily selling them on hiring you or pitching them. What you are doing is essentially having practice runs of discovery calls. Because here's the thing with discovery calls. You are listening more than you're talking. You're asking questions more than you're speaking. And so having virtual coffee chats with business owners to pick their brain on hiring VAs is literally the perfect way to get comfortable doing discovery calls. but it's a no pressure situation. And so all of the people in your network that you're reaching out to, instead of asking them to respond to you via message or email, be like, hey, is it okay if we just like hop on Zoom for 15 minutes tomorrow? I'll buy you a coffee and I'd love to just like ask you some questions and like really understand, you know, when you've hired a VA, like what you were looking for, you know, the things that your business offloads. I just, you know, like this feedback is so helpful to me as I build out my business, and people want to help you. They want to be a part of your journey. They will say yes, I promise you. Okay. So the biggest thing too, like as you are on these calls, you also get to practice your confidence. You like, just like we talked about at the beginning, like you are stepping into a new identity here. You're not just job searching. This is not like a corporate job search. You are the business owner. You are the CEO. You're speaking about transformation, not just tasks. And so as you're listening on these virtual coffee chats, you can think of like in your brain, and you can even practice saying it out loud, like F around and find out, right? Be like, awesome. Yes, this is exactly why I offer this service. So I can help my clients get to X, Y, and Z. So practice using transformation statements when you're on these market research calls, and when you're on discovery calls too, also. Like you're always wanting to go deeper than the task. Okay. So that's it. You have a 3-day action plan, like, and it's action plan for a reason, because I want you to get in action. We're not thinking about it. We're doing the thing. And like literally you can't do it wrong. You can't mess up. It's all practice, and your practice, your experience, it all compounds on each other. The first time you do it, it's going to feel, you're going to be like, who am I? This is terrible. What am I doing? Or maybe not. Maybe you'll be like, I'm amazing. But if you do, you're like, like, what am I doing? This is so like not good. That's normal. That's okay. And guess what? The more you do it, the better it's going to feel. And so you're going to have all these wild thoughts running through your head, and you can just be like, boop, you don't serve me. Boop, you don't serve me. Goodbye. I'm a business owner. I'm booking out my VA business. Here we go. This is what I need to do. And one of the things too that really helped me in building my businesses is just being unemotional about the things that I knew I needed to do. I knew that success left clues, and that the people that I were studying that were successful, like they did certain things every day. And I was like, okay, if I simply do these things every day, then like eventually I'll be there, and it's going to be clunky at first, but I'm just going to do them. And I would just build in like a daily routine and make it super unemotional. And so I think, you know, if you're catching yourself, like for lack of better word, sabotaging yourself, like you're like, I want to do this, but then you don't, think about like, how can you just take the emotions out of it and just do it? Like just force yourself to sit down, get a job application out. You might be crying, you might be like ripping your hair out, you might be like, what the heck am I doing? But just do it. Just do it. I promise you. And the more you do it, the easier it's going to get. Okay. So I hope this was helpful. I love you guys so much. If this was amazing, if you loved this, if you're ready to go book your dream clients quickly, but you don't want to do it alone, this is where I come in. This is where my team comes in. I know we actually have some of the Academy VAs watching live too, which is so fun. Hi, Maddie. Hi, Bobby. Hi, Kristen. The VA Leadership Academy is exactly where I come in. I come alongside you. I pour some love into you. I pour some love and shove. We're like, okay, let's go. We're doing this thing. And you get to follow a proven process, step by step, how to book out your business. We also have not just, like I mentioned, we send out 3 to 4 weekly job opportunities. In the Academy, you get up to 10 opportunities every single day. So we do the job searching for you. We go scour the industry, find the best roles of the day, and we compile them in our job board. You get templates, you get scripts. But I will say, and those of you who are on the live, tell me if you agree with this. The people in the Academy are the best part of it, like hands down. Community is very important to me, like as you know, because we have this beautiful, delicious community here. But in the Academy, like my intention is family. My intention is that you are here for life. Like, it is your VA base and your home, and you come in and like you get lifetime access. You get lifetime access to the job board. You get lifetime access to the community. You get lifetime access to the curriculum. Like you're just part of this amazing family. And you know, we were talking about success leaves clues. One of the things too that has been a clue for me and like really helped me build out my businesses is getting in rooms where success is normalized, where, you know, when I was becoming a VA, it's like, okay, where can I be where other successful VAs are? And that is like the biggest, I mean, you could have the right strategy, you could have the right scripts and templates and whatever. But if you're still in a space where people are like, what are you doing? You're crazy. Like, it's so much harder to overcome that barrier. And so when you can put yourself into a space where everyone's like, yes, you're doing the thing, we're here. And this was a challenge I had. This was how I navigated it. Or like, look what I did. Here's how you can do it too. That is one of the most powerful things you could ever do for yourself in building out your business. So if you are curious about the Academy, you have questions, just drop Academy below the live and I'll shoot you a message. Or if you want to just send me a message and we can chat there, would love to voice message you and just hear about your goals, your dreams, how I can support you in helping you get there. Okay, so much fun. I love you guys. Go follow that 3-day action plan that we outlined and then let me know how it goes. I am so excited to celebrate your new clients. Okay, mwah, so much love. Bye, everybody.